gentlemen, nice to be part of Baker Company. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys doing your contribution as part of this regiment, as part of this team. It's been a long process. When we started out, it was about 7 people, and we are over 31 active, 35 on our normal duty roster. And we're going to continue every day and every training cycle to do the best we can to make you a better soldier, a better airborne regiment, better than everybody else. The reason that we gave you those wings is not because of your jump status. Of course, that was originally given out. But as I've said before on FIG, the biggest reason why you got those is because you deserve that. Because you train what it's like to be as an airborne soldier back in World War II, 1944, 1945. Right now in a very exciting year, in our busiest time of our summer. Hopefully, your new, your fresh ideas and enthusiasm will definitely impact our unit. It's our best summer yet. We're projecting a higher number of recruitment within the next year or two. And that's not a lie, that's true. I'm sure you guys know that. And you're part of that. We're counting on each and every one of you to support and help each other. Regardless of you're an NCO or not, be a guardian of high standards. And that's what we try to achieve. That's all.
Rifles. Okay. Be out here 8.
Yes. No, I'm nothing's ever my size.
The flag range.
Yeah, you would be a tall guy in World War II.
My name is Victor Cabrera, First Lieutenant of Baker Company 502nd. What we had this morning is an award ceremony that we have. It's actually a new tradition that we just started 2 years ago. Normally, the jump wings, we actually hand out the jump wings called the Parachute Infantry Badge. And normally it's all given to soldiers when they finish jump school, but because we can't do that as a reenactment group, what we normally do is we use it as an acceptance into the unit after their probationary period during that time, because they've actually passed the time and spent the time with us. And so we use that as something to motivate the troops, and also makes them feel that they're part of the new unit, that they've actually earned the right after the training and the participation that they've endeavored and they contributed to the unit. The reason we reenact, and especially for the airborne, is one and foremost is to honor the people that actually made the ultimate sacrifice, which was the World War II veterans, specifically the airborne troops. We just don't do the 101st, but all airborne troops. And that's why we do portray that. And we honor them in this country and every other veterans that we do. We're not only just reenactors, we actually do living historian as well, to preserve all the history that nobody forgets, the ultimate sacrifice they did for this country. When I started reenact, it was back in 2007, and actually because I'm prior service, also military. I noticed one of the guests in the USO dance were reenactors, were World War II reenactors, and I caught my sight on them, and I went to ask personally how to get involved in a reenactment group, and that was my first year during 2007 when I first joined. Ever since then, I pledged and actually dedicated myself and the rest of my team to preserving and becoming a reenactor and a living historian for the World War II Airborne Reenactors Group. This is actually my 3rd year in Conneaut. The first year actually, I was just a spectator. I saw what happened, I saw what they did, and after that day, when I came back and told to my unit, I said we should do this, we should participate. And ever since then, we've been here ever since. The D-Day organization has been really excellent. They've really helped us out in a lot of different areas, how to prepare ourselves, how to get our troops in a manner that we can be easily comfortable with. And it's superb. I can't say enough to the team that actually put this together. And judging from what's going on with the 7th anniversary and further on, I think we're going to have a very, very good year for a long time, and a very good reenactment here in D-Day Conneaut.
It sure seems like it's going to rain. Feels like it, doesn't it?
Sure does.
And the leaves start showing their backs.
Yeah, that's a sign, no doubt.
Yeah, that's a sign. No, I know. I looked at the weather this morning. It says, you know, clear. I'll take you right into there.
Yeah, very good. So how long you been doing this?
Several years. I don't know when we started. It started out, we used the RV, and we used the van. We worked out of the van a couple years. And, it's evolved.
Germans were occupying defensive positions around the house. The enemy troops, unlike many of their counterparts, had been alerted to the invasion by an earlier encounter with elements of the 507th Parachute Infantry Regiment. The task of taking the bridge was assigned to the 505th Lieutenant John Dolan. Under fire from the manor house, the men were pinned down for about an hour, but were able to work around the German flank.
starts at the Coppers at 3:33 a.m. in the morning. That's 1 minute after we switch to London. And here's what it says. Flash. That's a very rare thing, you know, in the news world. Flash. London. Eisenhower's headquarters announces Allies land in France. Immediately afterwards, bulletin. Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force, June 6 AP. General Dwight D. Eisenhower's headquarters announced today that Allied troops began landing on the northern coast of France this morning, strongly supported by naval and air forces. The text of the communique, quote, under the command of General Eisenhower, Allied naval forces supported by strong air forces began landing Allied armies this morning on the northern coast of France. In 5 seconds, I hear we again will get an official report from London. Go ahead, London. This is Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force. In a moment, you will hear the Supreme Commander, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. His statement will be followed by other messages to the peoples of the countries on the western coast of Europe, which are occupied by the enemy. The Supreme Commander, Allied Expeditionary Force, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. People of Western Europe. A landing was made this morning on the coast of France by troops of the Allied Expeditionary Force. This landing is part of the concerted United Nations plan for the liberation of Europe, made in conjunction with our great Russian allies. I have this message for all of you. Although the initial assault may not have been made in your own country, the hour of your liberation is approaching. All patriots, men and women, young and old, have a part to play in the achievement of final victory. To members of resistance movements, whether led by nationals or by outside leaders, I say, follow the instructions you have received. To patriots who are not members of organized resistance groups, LPO, continue your passive resistance, but do not needlessly endanger your lives. Wait until I give you the signal to rise and strike the enemy. The day will come when I shall need your united strength. Until that day, I call on you for the hard task of discipline and restraint. Citizens of France, I am proud to have again under my command the gallant forces of France. Fighting inside their allies, they will play a worthy part in the liberation of their homeland. Because the initial landing has been made on the soil of your country, I repeat to you with even greater emphasis my message to the peoples of other occupied countries in Western Europe. Follow the instructions of your leaders. A premature uprising of all Frenchmen may prevent you from being of maximum help to your country in the critical hour. Be patient. Prepare. As Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, there is imposed on me the duty and responsibility of taking all measures necessary to the prosecution of the war. Prompt and willing obedience to the orders that I shall issue is essential. Effective civil administration of France must be provided by Frenchmen. All persons must continue in their present duties unless otherwise instructed. Those who have made common cause with the enemy and so betrayed their country will be removed. When France is liberated from her oppressors, you yourselves will choose your representatives on the government under which you wish to live. In the course of this campaign for the final defeat of the enemy, you may sustain further loss and damage. Tragic though they may be, they are part of the price of victory. I assure you that I shall do all in my power to mitigate your hardships. I know that I can count on your steadfastness now, no less than in the past. The heroic deeds of Frenchmen who have continued the struggle against the Nazis and their vicious satellites in France and throughout the French Empire have been an example and an inspiration to all of us. This landing is but the opening phase of the campaign in Western Europe. Great battles lie ahead. I call upon all who love freedom to stand with us now. Keep your faith staunch. Our arms are resolute. Together we shall achieve victory. You have just heard the Supreme Commander, General Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Okay, Deborah Bay.
I'm here from
Lake City, Pennsylvania.
and how How long you been reenacting?
This will be my 3rd year. I started 3 years ago at D-Day Conneaut. It's my favorite event that I go to. It's great how many veterans are able to make it to this event. The participation from the reenactors is just amazing. I've always loved the 1940s, but I've been coming to this event ever since I was really young, and I just really wanted to participate. So 3 years ago I was able to.